going to crochet with Potter and Bloom.
This is a video about half trebles. Beautiful half treble crochets. This is a half treble crochet swatch, and this is what it looks like when you crochet it in straight rows. It's quite a nice stitch, quite dense, a little bit stretchy maybe. It works up nicely. Half trebles are the beginning of the crochet rows where you chain to a height. With a half treble you chain 2 chains and then you miss your first stitch because this 2 chain counts as your first stitch. Now it can get a bit confusing. Let me tell you, I have spent the last half hour trying to figure it out myself, and I do this all the time. So you need to remember that you're counting your chain 2 as a stitch. So I always do my swatches as 15 stitches. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you're always counting your chain 2 as a stitch, and when you get to the end of each row, you have to remember that your last stitch goes in to the top of that turning chain because you are counting that turning chain as a stitch. So for all intents and purposes, it is a stitch. So what happens, which I think some people don't like, but actually I don't really mind it so much, especially if you're doing a large piece like a skirt or a scarf. But if you see where you miss the first stitch because you've chained 2, you end up with every other row you get a little gap. Can you see there's a little gap there, and then on this side there's a little gap there, and there will be one there when I do that row. It's quite, I like it. Some people don't. I think there are actually videos where you can do a half treble row and you don't get these little gaps, but personally I think they're quite nice. So let me show you. Got to the end of this row and I'm going to chain 2. That's counting as my first stitch. I'm going to turn my work. Sometimes I turn my hook too, but not always. I don't know why I just did that then. Okay, so this is my first stitch here. I'm going to miss it and go into this stitch. Okay, half treble, and then just half treble all the way along. My yarn's trying to get in on the action. Keep half trebling all the way along. I've made one of my patterns, little toddler dresses, in this half treble, and it looks so lovely. Okay, so that's the last stitch, but we're also going to go into this turning chain here, which is a little bit fiddly. Okay, so we just did a row of half trebles. I'll do another row, so you chain 2, you miss that first stitch, and you half treble all the way along to the end, crochet swatched so much when I first learned, because I wanted to see what all of the different stitches were like. I got myself a stitch book and then I just went through and worked all of the stitches out. It was quite geeky, but I have to say, very satisfying. Very, very lovely and very, very satisfying. Okay, so we have to remember, we've done our last stitch, and then we have to remember to go into the top of the turning chain, just like that, and work our half treble in there as well. Okay, so that is how your half treble rows. My hand looks really red there. Yeah, looks nice, doesn't it? Nice square swatch. Half trebles. Hope that was useful. Thanks for watching. Bye.